Good evening. Ms. Susan Thayer, our chair, is on a well-deserved vacation this week, so David Chastain is sitting in on her behalf. Thank you for joining us. If there's no objection, we are back from executive session. Okie dokie. So now we have the invocation, and it is my good fortune to have, it's my turn this evening, and I wanted to do something light. The fair is starting at the fairgrounds this evening. I know that we're starting on what we call fall break next Monday. So if it's okay, I'd just like to share a little poem from Judith Viorst, just for something to think about as we transition. It's called Summer's End. One by one the petals drop. There's nothing that can make them stop. You cannot beg a rose to stay. Why does it have to be that way? The butterflies I used to chase have gone off to some other place. I don't know where. I only know I wish they didn't have to go. And all the shiny afternoons, so full of birds and big balloons, and ice cream melting in the sun, are done. I do not want them done. But folks, fall is here. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I thank you. Okay, it is time for board recognitions, and we'll take this. Turn it over to the superintendent.
You threw me off there. Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Mr. Vice Chair. So if everybody can join us down front, Donna Lowry is going to come and do our board recognitions.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Ragsdale. We have several board recognitions tonight. We are happy to announce that Walton High School student Brian Wu placed first overall in academics at the National Latin Convention. Unfortunately, Brian was unable to be with us this evening. However, we still wanted to take a moment to congratulate Brian on his success. We are pleased to join the Cobb County Chamber of Commerce in paying tribute to all public safety personnel during Public Safety Appreciation Week, which is October 3rd through 9th. This special week allows our community the opportunity to band together and show our gratitude to all the hardworking public safety personnel. However, we want to express our special appreciation for our district's devoted public safety team. At this time, we would like the following members of the Cobb County Schools public safety staff to come to the front of the room to be recognized for their commitment to the safety of our students and staff. Chief Ron Story, Captain Wayne Pickett, Sergeant Mike Young, Sergeant Mike Wilson, Officer Phil Bradford, Officer Danny Hubbard, and Officer Tim Jennings. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Happy Friday.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
And Bill Cardone.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cardone. Congratulations. Thank you for all you do. We are thrilled to announce that the Georgia Library Media Association and the Georgia Library Association have recognized two Cobb County high schools for having Outstanding Media Center programs. Wheeler High School won the 2016 Judy Saratella Exemplary Media Program Award, and South Cobb High School won the 2016 Judy Saratella Exceptional Media Program Award. So we want to congratulate them on this honor, and we'd ask them to stand at this moment and then come forward. Wheeler High School Assistant Principal Dr. Tiffany Stark, along with media specialists Renee Tarani and Valerie Bryan. From South Cobb, please come forward, Principal Clint Terza, and South Cobb Media Specialists Brian Ragsdale and Jennifer Bone. Congratulations to all of you for your successful and award-winning programs.
Exactly. Congratulations. Good job. Good job. Got right. We got to cover it. Exactly. Name you know you can trust.
Congratulations. Next, we would like to recognize the district's 4 classified employees of the year for their dedication to our school team. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Amanda Stone, special education paraprofessional at Chalker Elementary School. Apollona Padilla, head custodian at Lindley 6th Grade Academy. Dragan Chikic, head custodian at Pope High School. And Becky Kelly, secretary in the Special Education Department. At this time, we would like to invite all 4 of you to come forward, and along with Chalker Elementary Principal Sharon Aduno, Lindley 6th Grade Academy Principal Dr. Denise McGee, Pope High School Assistant Principal Nancy Zabinski, and Dr. Tracy Doe, Assistant Superintendent, Teaching and Learning Support and Specialized Services. We are proud to congratulate our classified employees of the year.
Congratulations. Appreciate you. Congratulations. You're very welcome. Congratulations. You're very welcome. Congratulations, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Congratulations. We have a really big honor. We're thrilled to recognize 4 of our employees who have served the school system for 40 years. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Mark Taylor in maintenance, and Paul Osterholt, SPLOST operations. We have 2 more with 40 years of service who are unable to join us tonight. They are both in transportation, Lillian King and Irene Ryder. We would now like to invite Mark and Paul to come forward. They are accompanied by their supervisors, James Carlson, Executive Director, Maintenance and Operations, and Nick Parker, Senior Executive Director of SPLOST. The board and everyone with the district would like to thank you for your 4 decades of dedicated service. see you. Good to see you.
Appreciate you, man. I hear you.
Yeah, I got the two more. Thank you. Pictures. Thank you. Congratulations. And congratulations again to everyone on all of the achievements. This concludes our recognitions for this evening. Thank you.
Yeah, see your list. Let's see what we can find it from there.
Thank you. Let's move on now to public comments. Mr. Doyle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. We have approximately 17 speakers, and 1 minute has been allotted for each speaker. So we'll start with our first. Connie Jackson will discuss Amendment 1 OSD, and if you're the next speaker, please make your way forward so we can get through these. The next will be Roxanne Lopez.
Good evening. I came here tonight to talk to you about the Opportunity School District Amendment 1. And first I want to express our support for our school board and for our superintendent. We here in Cobb are very, very lucky, and we know that. We have an excellent school board, an awesome superintendent, and a well-run district. Local control is extremely important to us because of that. We know that a lot of districts are expressing amendments against the Opportunity School Board, our school district. We would like to bring an amendment to, or a resolution to you that's a little bit different. We know that because of political pressures from the government and the governor, that is not possible for those political reasons. I presented you with an amendment that's a little bit different, and it just really expresses our need for local control. It's not against, it's for local control, not against OSD. I won't read it because of the 1 minute time, but we really just want to come out in favor of the local control because we trust our school board, we trust our superintendent, and we know that
Ms. Jackson.
We know that you have the best interest of our students and our schools and our educators at heart. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Roxanne Lopez, who will discuss Amendment 1 OSD. She'll be followed by Ashley Lee.
Hi, Roxanne Lopez. I am a teacher in our county and a parent of previous students, many. I want to say, let's talk like Dr. Seuss, who wrote the book, the Lorax, and he spoke for the trees. Well, I want to speak for us. I think you are doing a great job. I think as a teacher, I'm doing a great job. I think we know what our students need. Before the Lorax, he complained, please look out for the trees. Well, let's look out for our students and say no to this proposition that's going down. We need to keep control of our own environment. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ashley Lee, who will discuss SPLOS, followed by Ann Parker.
Hi, my name is Ashley Lee, and I'm a concerned parent from Murdoch Elementary of 2 boys. I'm also a nurse practitioner and currently serve as our PTA president. I would like to address the issue of our 30-year-old temporary wing that currently houses our 3rd grade classes that pose 3 risks that we're concerned about. A health risk due to potential mold from severe water damage, a safety risk as this temporary building is not protected by firewalls, and a safety hazard. Water-saturated ceiling tiles have been falling down, posing a hazard to our students and their teachers. As a nurse practitioner, I'm very aware of the potential respiratory issues with mold exposure. I'm also a parent of a 3rd grade boy, and I'm very worried about his safety. And as the PTA president, it is my responsibility to advocate for our students and our families. Mr. Adams confirmed in the last board meeting that only 1 work order had been filed in the past year, and a Murdoch parent has confirmed via email with Mr. Parker that this is within the calendar year, which is 6 weeks. I would ask you to consider our students' success, safety, and health are at risk, and the repercussions of ignoring this problem by delaying to replace the structure will increase the liabilities. Thank you for your time.
Our next speaker is Ann Parker, who will discuss Splost and Pebblebrook, followed by Jennifer O'Daniel.
Hi, my name is Ann Parker. I reside in the Hillgrove High School District. My daughter is a student at Pebblebrook, attending Cobb County Center for Performing Arts Magnet School. We want to first say how grateful we are for the new theater Pebblebrook High School will receive with the SPLOST 5 funding. It was the news we were waiting to hear for many years. We are hopeful that the new theater will include facilities which will allow our nationally known performing arts program to thrive in Mableton, Georgia. The specifications we would like to see include as follows: a 700-seat proscenium theater, a 150-seat recital hall with state-of-the-art acoustical treatment, rehearsal studio, a magnet administrative suite, a full-service kitchen, design and production classrooms, lab, lighting, electric shop, a lighting lab, a scene shop with access to the Reese Theater, and we want to stress that we feel we need to maintain the Reese Theater for the rest of the school functions that are there. So I understand there's discussion of demolishing that building to build a new, but that's needed for the other activities that the school
Ms.
uses
Parker.
them. Thank you.
Next speaker is Jennifer O'Daniel, who will discuss Splost and Murdoch, and she'll be followed by Satish Kudapa, if I got that right.
Thank you. I spoke last week, and I mentioned the story of my own daughter, who is a 3rd grader at Murdoch Elementary. She goes to school every day for hours longer than the time that I see her on the weekdays. She spends her time in that 3rd grade wing that we're discussing, the temporary wing that was built 30 years ago when I myself was 8 years old, and I'm no spring chicken. She has had respiratory issues since she started 3rd grade. This is a student who has the attendance award for kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grade, and suddenly in 3rd grade, she's had respiratory issues documented at her doctor's office on 3 different occasions in the first 6 weeks of school. When I mentioned that at the last meeting last week, I had multiple parents come to me and tell me very similar stories. Oh my gosh, Jennifer, my 4th and 5th graders, they were perfectly healthy, and then last year in 3rd grade, they were so sick. They had respiratory issues. They had to use their inhalers. They, they had ongoing problems in doctor's appointments. There was one case of twins last year, and both of the twins this summer ended up in surgery with respiratory problems. Never before 3rd grade had they had any problems.
Ms. O'Daniel.
Thank you. Please support us and help our children be safe.
Our next speaker is Satish Kudapa, and forgive me if I get that wrong, who will discuss Splost and Murdoch, followed by Ms. Landrum Iyazi.
Hi, my name is Satish Kudapa, and I have 3 children at Murdoch, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th grade. As a physician and as a parent, I have some serious concerns about the 3rd grade 30-year-old temporary wing at Murdoch that I feel can create some significant health issues in both our teachers and our children. After a recent visit to the school, I got a first-hand look at the obvious water damage that was present in that wing, with resultant number of cockroaches that infiltrated the area, comparable to that of what I would only expect to see in a 3rd world developing country. When my daughter was in that 3rd grade wing, her entire class actually had their home lunches, along with all their classmates with home lunches, infested with bugs, and the school actually provided them with the lunch. As a father and as a physician, This situation is both unsanitary and unacceptable given the taxes that we all pay to Cobb County. For the sake of our current and future teachers' and students' health, I urge the board to reconsider their decision to include in SPLOST temporarily replacing the temporary wing at Murdoch with the permanent third grade wing.
Time.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Iceland Landrum Yazi, if I got that right, who will discuss OSD, followed by Nell Wright.
Good evening. My name is Aislinn Landrum-Iazi, and I am a local PTA leader and the mother of 3 Cobb County school children. We're here tonight to ask you to stand with us in opposition to the Opportunity School District, or Amendment 1, on the November ballot. 33 different school boards have now come out against Amendment 1, and we ask you to do the same. But we do not ask this of you lightly. We know that you are in a horrible position. We've heard the whispers and even outright threats of what will happen to districts that speak out against the governor, and how he has praised school superintendents who have kept their mouth shut on the issue. This is unacceptable. It is a sad day in Georgia when we are unable to voice our disagreement on something as impactful and long-lasting as a constitutional amendment. We know that something needs to be done for our failing schools, but Amendment 1 is not the answer. We do not support this blatant money grab that uses a flawed grading system to justify transferring local taxpayer funds and buildings to state control. We do not support our local school board losing decision-making power over our schools to appointed bureaucrats and private interests. We do not support Amendment 1, and as our elected representatives, we ask that you stand with us on this issue. Thank you.
Nell Wright will discuss OSD, followed by Jan Durinsky.
I agree with everything she said. I've been in Cobb now for 16 years, and my first few years I was at a school that was voted or judged to be by the federal government the most improved school in Georgia. And I have to tell you, I'm very sad to know that those of you that are representing us on the school board have not made, I hope that behind the scenes you've made it very clear to the governor. I'm disappointed that you're not willing to come out publicly and take a stand for something that I do not think is going to help our schools. I am getting close to retirement, so I am willing to stand up here. But if a teacher was new, why would they want to go to a school that is on the watch list? And by that I mean a school that has scored 60 or lower on the CCRPI. Okay, and you're going to lose talent. If I was at a school that was on this list, I would start thinking about moving. I think the governor is undermining our entire school district. And not to mention the fact that as a taxpayer and resident of Cobb, I do not like the fact that the state government can consider taking our property away from the citizens and the local control, which I think is working as well as it can. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jan Durinsky, who will discuss Splost and Murdoch, followed by Doug Smith.
Hi, I'm Jan Durinsky. I'm a parent of 1 Dodgen and 2 Murdoch Elementary students, and I'm a scout leader for my son's den, and we're part of PAC 815 from Murdoch Elementary. We spoke to our scouts about the importance of being involved in their community and making their community a better place to live. They want to make Murdoch a safer school. They are here to make their voice heard. The Cub Scouts understand that their success, health, and safety are compromised by the current state of the 3rd grade wing at Murdoch. They witnessed water coming down from the ceiling. We're fortunate that we only had rain only 1 time. They have seen the water-saturated ceiling tiles, and they have seen openings in the walls that give access to the bugs like roaches. We're failing our students by not addressing the issue and ignoring the problem. We need a permanent structure that can house 12 classrooms. We cannot wait for the current wing to deteriorate any further, and we urge you to consider allocating the necessary SPLOST funds to Murdoch towards the permanent structure. Thank you.
Next, we will hear from Doug Smith regarding Murdoch, followed by Amit Halder.
My name is Doug Smith. I'm here on behalf of my 2 children that attend Murdoch Elementary School. one of which is a third grader. We're not asking for new schools like Powers Ferry Elementary or Eastside Elementary or Walton High School. We're asking that you fix the temporary wing that's been there for 30 years. The primary focus should be on providing a safe environment for our children. I know that's important to the board. There's a reason we have controlled access to get into the school, but that controlled access does not cover what's inside the school. Exposure to mold and things of that nature, cockroaches and that sort of thing, is causing an environmental problem. Kids are developing asthma. Kids are also developing allergies who never had allergies before. If we can't protect these children, then we really have nothing left, do we? Thank you.
Our next speaker is Amit Halder, who will discuss homework, and followed by Zelda Williams.
Hi, my name is Amit Halder, and I'm here on behalf of myself and many of my friends who are parents of high school students. And the concern here is that the amount of homework rigor that's given to these kids is completely unregulated. At least that's our belief. And we think that that is having a serious impact on the emotional and physical well-being of the students and their overall growth. So I urge the board to consider regulating and establishing guidelines around how much homework is appropriate to bring about the best in the children and not leave that to the individual teacher's discretion. There's a lot of research out there which suggests that too much homework can be counterproductive and is not good for the overall growth of the child. So I urge the board to take a look at that and consider the validity of that of this suggestion and establish measures to correct those if found to be valid. Thank you.
Next is Zelda Williams, who will discuss OSD, followed by Katrina Bishop.
Good evening. My name is Zelda Williams. I am a parapro at one of those failing schools. I do not like it. I am not for you all taking our schools away. Each and every day I go to school, I see how our staff and our students are enhanced with academics. I see everything that go every day in our school. Our community is not liking this. So please vote no for this.
Our next speaker is Katrina Bishop, who will discuss OSD, followed by Tammy Andres.
Good evening. My name is Katrina Bishop, and I'm the parent of 2 children in Cobb County schools. We moved our children to Cobb schools 4 years ago in hopes that they could receive the stellar education that my husband received when he graduated from Cobb schools. But I have a secret. Before we moved to Cobb schools, my children attended a for-profit managed charter school in Florida. And now that I have experienced what a real public school should look like, I'm ashamed of that choice. That for-profit managed charter school afforded by the school of 800 students 12 functional computers, no library, no media specialist. And on top of that, they told my neighbor who had a child with a learning diagnosis that they could not meet her needs and that her child was not welcome at that school. This is completely unacceptable to me. And I do not see how we can support anything like that. In the time that we were there for 4 years, we saw 3 principals leave. We lost 32 separate teachers. Please stand with us and vote no and take a stand against opportunity school districts because we cannot do this to our children.
Tammy Andres will discuss OSD, followed by Stacy Ramali.
Good evening. My name is Tammy Andrus, and I'm a Cobb County resident with 3 children in Cobb County schools. I'm also an elected community leader and speak for a large membership in saying we are adamantly and vociferously opposed to Amendment 1 or OSD. While the reasons for this opposition are too numerous to mention in 60 seconds, we are most outraged by the fact that even more of our tax dollars will be used to pay for these target schools that are taken over by the governor's OSD czar than already the tens of millions that we send out every year from our county to the detriment of our students. We are appalled that our elected school board, whom we adamantly support, and local community will be removed from the decision-making process regarding their seized schools, and that the criteria to determine what is failing is so incredibly arbitrary. We urge you to stand with Cobb County citizens in opposing Amendment 1. Thank you.
Stacy Ramali will discuss Splost and Pebblebrook, followed by Kendra, and I think this says Kramer.
Hello, my name is Stacy Rameli, and I'm a parent districted for Lassiter, and I have a freshman and a senior in the CCC EPA Magnet program. I want to say thank you for your continual support of our Magnet program. It is tremendous, and I am completely thrilled that we are in SPLOST for a new performing arts facility. I was unfortunately dismayed, though, to see that our current theater is set to be demolished. Pebblebrook High School needs that theater just as we need a performing arts facility. One, to support the caliber of program that the Magnet program is, and one that is comparable to other high school programs across the nation. My question to you is, the reason I hear that our theater is going to be demolished is possibly because Pebblebrook is landlocked. There is not space, but we need both. So my question is, have you considered a standalone facility for the Magnet program at another Cobb County location? Thank you.
We have 2 speakers left. Kendra Kramer, I think it says, or Kramer, will
Yes,
discuss
my
the
name
school
is-
board, and she'll be followed by Dolores Bunch Keemer.
Okay. Well, we have the same last name. Yes, my name is Kendra Keemer. I would like to yield my time to the Dolores Bunch Keemer, if that's okay.
We don't have a provision for that, but go ahead. You have 55 seconds.
Okay. Well, I'm Dolores Bunch-Keemer, and my granddaughter is Zoe Nelson. She is she goes to school at Cheatham Hill. Cheatham Hill, as I've written you many letters, they played a slavery game. It had a traumatic effect on my granddaughter. What I would like to see happen is that we do other things besides play a slavery game. It's very offensive. We wouldn't play a Holocaust game. So I don't think it's appropriate for us to play a slavery game in school. Nor do I think it's appropriate for us to take them on a field trip that chases them through the woods like they are slaves at Blue Ridge. So what I would like to see happen is that we end playing any kind of simulation or any kind of slavery game in school. And I have other alternatives that we can do besides do slavery games. Thank you.
That concludes public comment, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from the September 14th work session. If there are no objections, okay, the minutes are approved. Let's see. Now we're ready to hear board business from Mr. Sweeney regarding the Facilities and Technology Citizens Oversight Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chastain. I should say, Mr. Chair. The Facilities and Technology Committee met on Monday, and as there were no pending SPLOST items, there is no further report to provide. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have the approval of the agenda. If there is no objection, all right, our agenda is approved. Mr. Ragsdale, we are now ready for your report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, members of the board, I'm going to ask Mr. John Adams to bring all items requiring action following executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Mr. Chair, I'm pleased to bring you the Human Resources Personnel Report for September 22nd, 2016. The administration recommends the approval of the identified employment actions of those individuals listed on the Personnel Action Report as discussed in executive session. We do not have any principal level or higher position recommendations this evening, so this concludes the Personnel Report.
Okay, Mr. Sweeney, you move?
Move that we accept the Superintendent's Personnel Action Report as presented.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Scamahorn had his hand up for a sec. Thank you. Everybody, all in favor? Aye? Okay. Okay, next we have the board agenda items. Mr. Ragsdale. Okay, so if that's all consent, do we vote on that, right? No? Okay. With no objection, we accept the consent
Usually,
agenda.
we could do it either way. Usually, we vote on the consent agenda.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda? All right, we'll let Mr. Banks.
I move that we accept the consent agenda items 1, 2, and 3.
All right, thank you, sir. And Mr. Sweeney, second. All those in favor? All right, that's all of us. This brings us to board member comments. Boy, I tell you, we're doing good. All right, why don't we start with Mr. Scamahorn?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the opportunity. I would just like to highlight, with Public Safety Week coming particularly, we have a great police force here with Cobb County Schools, and we have a great police force in Cobb County. And I look forward to celebrating this week and celebrating them taking the oath and protecting us. Without our police officers, our sheriffs, deputy sheriffs, we would be in chaos. And we have an example of that going on, unfortunately, in Charlotte. Those men and women in Charlotte undoubtedly would like to be home with their families, would like to go home safely to their families. Unfortunately, one of their police officers, a female police officer, was shot 8 times. And I guess if there is a fortunate thing about it, the thug that shot her was a poor shot because she's going to live. Also, not getting much attention is, I believe it was I lose track, there's so many, in Arizona. There was also a police officer about a week and a half ago that was wounded. We as a public need to step up and start speaking out and letting people know that this is not the kind of society we want to live in, where our police officers are under duress and the rest of us don't know what to do about it. So I would just simply request again, if you see a police officer or police officers having lunch or dinner and you see fit to it, buy them lunch or dinner, shake their hand, and let them know that we appreciate them to keep us from living in chaos. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Scamahorn. Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I'd like to thank both the East Cobb Middle School and also Brumby Elementary School. This past Sunday, they had a groundbreaking ceremony for the new schools on Terrell Mill Road. Superintendent Ragsdale had an opportunity to attend along with other people from the Cobb County School District, and it was well attended. And the best news is that the children from the schools got to actually turn the dirt, and so we got great images of that. And I think they're putting a video together. Secondly, I wanted to congratulate the National Merit Scholarship finalists throughout the district, and I'm going to tout the successes of 2 of my schools, both Walton High School and Wheeler High School. Collectively, I think they had in the neighborhood of 39 at Walton High School and 12 at Wheeler High School that reached that National Merit Scholarship finalist level, which is truly a remarkable achievement. And lastly, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the comments made by some of the people this evening, and I just want those people to know specifically that I already feel that state and federal governments already have too much say over public education decisions that I feel are best left to public community or local communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Mr. Banks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of things. I want to thank the principal, Christian Settle at Hillgrove High School, for inviting me to hear their concert last night at Kennesaw State University. And Patrick Irwin was the conductor for the Wind Symphony, and David Doak was the symphony orchestra conductor, and the concert choir was conducted by Wesley Stoner. Also wanted to compliment the students at Lassiter High School. Last week they had their academic letter award ceremony. They had 414 students that received an academic award, and in order to receive this award, they had to have a GPA of 4.0 or higher for at least 2 years in a row. So that's not only a compliment to the students, but also to the staff and the teachers who bring them along. So they've done a fantastic job. Also, Friday night, we had a great football game at Marietta High School's Northcutt Stadium. If you haven't been to that facility, you need to go. It is breathtaking. It's huge. And I had the opportunity of being escorted to the Touchdown Club room up on the third floor by Mary Margaret Doyle, who is the wife of the our legal counsel, and her father, Georgia Supreme Court Chief Justice Harris Hines. And while I was up there, the Chief Justice gave me a lapel pin of the Chief Justice in the Supreme Court, and so I'm wearing that tonight. I told him if he'd give it to me, I'd wear it. So I am wearing that lapel pin tonight. So it was a great game. The score came out pretty good because Leicester won, and but it's a fabulous facility. I mean, it's just breathtaking because you are way up in the air when you're on the third floor. And then the press box is up on the fourth floor, so you're really way up there in the sky. But it's a fabulous and very nice facility, and they should be very proud of it. I think that's all I've got right now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just like to comment on Mr. Sweeney's thing. I do not support the governor's plan either. And I support local control of our schools.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Appreciate the opportunity. You know, it goes without saying, and sometimes it goes without saying too much, but I just want to express my sincere appreciation for our public safety department. Our officers are one of the best trained and most professional organizations that we could ever anticipate of having the benefit and privilege of working in this district with, and they do a tremendous job of keeping our staff and our students safe. Of course, we always can use more, but we greatly appreciate the level of professionalism and the risk that all of our public safety officers put themselves in each and every day. I'll also echo Mr. Sweeney's comments about the National Merit Scholarship semifinalists and go a little bit further and mention that the number of semifinalists we had this year increased by more than 30% over last year's numbers. And that is just a tremendous testimony to the hard work that our teachers are doing each and every day. We have the best teachers in the world. I will also mention the schools, the high schools that we had semifinalists from. Walton High School, Wheeler High School has already been mentioned. Allatoona, Campbell, Harrison, Hillgrove, Kennesaw Mountain, Lassiter, McEachern, and Pope. Congratulations to all of those students and all of those schools. Also, it was a tremendous event, as Mr. Sweeney also said, the groundbreaking for East Cobb Middle and Brumby. I know it's been a long time coming, and when we were out there at the groundbreaking, it was a tremendous sight to really see all of the acreage there for those two schools. So it'll be a tremendous sight once those schools get built and opened up. Lastly, I would like to recognize one of my own on Executive Cabinet, Dr. Greg Ewing. He has been named one of 3 finalists for the superintendent position in Las Cruces, New Mexico Public Schools. Exactly. So that is a tremendous compliment to our Executive Cabinet, because obviously the next step for them is to become superintendent if they so desire. Not sure what he's thinking, but it's a tremendous accolade for the district and for Dr. Ewing. Wish him the best of luck if he chooses to make the mistake. To take the position and leave the best district in the world. So maybe you could be the second best, but give you something to strive for. So congratulations to him, and I wish all of our teachers and employees a safe and restful break. Obviously, those of us that are 240 don't get the break, but a lot of us are taking vacation. So if you are, be safe in your travels, and wish a safe break to all of the students as well to come back rested and ready for the next session.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. I would echo a lot of what my colleagues have said, so I won't be redundant. I have two comments of a gastronomical nature. Number one, this evening, Pebblebrook High's culinary department, what? Gastronomical, you know? Gastronomical. That's 5 syllables. I went to Wheeler. I went to Brumby. Anyway. There you go. But the culinary arts students of Pebblebrook High School provided our meal this evening, and I would like to acknowledge the wonderful work of Principal Travis Joshua, who just gets to hire the right people to educate these fine kids. We had Chef Walker and Chef Lyons, the instructors of these young people. I know that one of them was classically trained, and I can't remember the culinary institute. It wasn't the culinary institute. It was one of those culinary institutes, but it's the best culinary institute. Johnson and who? Wales. Johnson and Wales. Okay. How many of you know who Johnson and Wales are? Oh, okay, good. All right. But the most important thing is we had students Olivia Green, Tavon Leslie, Liliana Carlos Valentino, and Tasha Wilkerson provided the meal and were excellent hosts. And when we asked them to come in and introduce themselves, they could tell us what part of the meal they helped provide. And I have a son who's 28 who only wishes that he had had a culinary art school at North Cobb back when he was there. Unless there's any objection. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Scammahorn, you want seconds.
Thank you. I had forgotten, and I don't want to step on your comments. But prior to the primary, I had filled out several surveys from different voters groups, and I'm on record prior to the primary that I believe there's other ways better, much better than OSD. So just in case nobody's read that, I look for another alternative to improve our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scammahorn. Anybody else want seconds? Okay. If there's no objection, we are adjourned. Thank you. Can I use that? There you go.